Welcome back to When Tomorrow's Uncertain, where we dive into the fascinating and sometimes, a little bit daunting world of childhood health. I'm Theodore, and today we're tackling something that I think every parent, every caregiver has probably thought about at some point. And joining me to navigate these often unpredictable waters is the brilliant Julian. Julian, thanks for being here.
Theodore, it's always a pleasure. And unpredictable waters is certainly one way to put it when we're talking about kids, isn't it?
Absolutely. It really is. And that's actually a perfect segue into our first big topic today, understanding these pediatric illness trajectories. Because honestly, it's not always a straight line, is it?
Not at all, Theodore. In fact, if adult illness trajectories are like a well-paved highway, pediatric ones are more like a winding, unmapped forest path. You think you know where you're going, and then boom, a new therapy pops up, or a kid just bounces back in a way you never expected.
So basically, kids are tiny, adorable medical mystery boxes. Sounds about right.
Mystery boxes. I love that, Clara. But Julian, why is it so much more complex with children compared to adults? I mean, a broken arm is a broken arm, right?
Well, you'd think so, but even that's different. The biggest challenge, honestly, is the lack of population-level survival data for so many childhood conditions. Except for cancer, where we have a lot of research, for most other serious illnesses, we're often flying a bit blind when it comes to long-term predictions.
That's actually pretty shocking. You'd think we'd have more data on, children.
Right? It's not like they just appeared yesterday. So we're talking about a lot of guesswork then, or at least educated guesses?
More like highly educated, constantly adapting guesses. And then you throw in novel therapies and interventions, which are fantastic, but they add another layer of we're not entirely sure how this will play out in the long run. It's a double-edged sword.
So good news, but also good luck predicting anything. Got it.
Sounds like you're saying kids are just making it up as they go along, medically speaking.
In a way, yes, but it's also their incredible resilience. Children's bodies, especially their young organs, can endure prolonged treatments and bounce back in ways that would astound you. It makes prognostic estimates incredibly difficult because they defy expectations.
So they're basically tiny superheroes with super healing powers? I knew it! My nephew once ate a crayon and was fine.
A crayon, Clara? That's a story for another time. But Julian, this resilience, this unpredictability, how does that impact the tools doctors use? Like, how do you even track functional decline when things are so up in the air?
That's where tools like the Lansky Play Performance Scale come in, especially for kids with cancer. It helps track their functional decline, which is crucial for assessing ongoing needs and even hospice eligibility. For older kids, say 16 and up, we can use the Palliative Performance Scale, which is more common for adults.
So they have a scale for how well a kid can play? That's actually kind of brilliant.
It really is. It makes sense, right? Play is a child's work. But beyond the scales, how do these uncertain trajectories help healthcare providers and families navigate the day-to-day?
They're vital for identifying changes in a child's health status over time. Even if the overall path is uncertain, understanding the trajectory helps everyone adapt. It's about being prepared for potential shifts, both positive and negative, and adjusting care plans accordingly.
So it's less about knowing the destination and more about having a really good map for the journey, even if the map keeps changing.
That's a great way to put it, Clara. And speaking of journeys, parents are on this journey too, making incredibly tough decisions. How does this unpredictability factor into their role and this idea of being a good parent during critical times?
It's immense. Research really emphasizes supporting parents in their decision-making. The concept of being a good parent becomes incredibly complex when you're facing such uncertainty. It's not just about making the right medical choice, but also about preserving the child's quality of life and the family's identity.
That's a huge burden. I can't even imagine.
No, you really can't. And the ethical considerations around prognostic disclosure, telling families what might happen when you're not entirely sure yourself, must be incredibly delicate.
Absolutely. It requires immense sensitivity and a deep understanding of the family's narrative. What does quality of life mean to them? What are their hopes, their fears? It's not just about medical facts, it's about their entire world.
So it's like being a detective, a doctor, and a therapist all rolled into one.
Pretty much. And it sounds like a constant balancing act, Julian. This whole idea of navigating the unpredictable really highlights the unique challenges in pediatric care.
It truly does. It's a field that demands constant learning, immense empathy, and a recognition that every child's path is truly their own.
And a lot of crayons, apparently.
A lot of crayons, indeed. Well, Julian, this has been incredibly insightful and honestly a lot of fun, even with the serious topic. Thanks for shedding light on these tiny medical mystery boxes and for not judging Clara's nephew's dietary choices.
It's always a pleasure, Theodore. And truly, the resilience of children is a constant source of wonder. It's a privilege to discuss these complex paths.
And a privilege to know that somewhere out there, a crayon is still being digested. Just kidding, mostly.
Mostly. On that note, thank you, Clara.